The ones who've kept playing have probably come up in a few years' time with a new, different thing altogether.
The greatest phenomenon in entertainment history, yes, but what would have happened if the Beatles hadn't happened? I talked to Paul McCartney about it.
Could you ever be as happy as you are these days, do you think? In another area of show business or another area of life?
I don't know, I doubt it, I doubt it very much. The only possible other thing is if I didn't like money, then I could probably be very happy. But like most of the people in the world, I like money. Because, let's face it, if everyone else, if all these people who say, well, money's nothing and money doesn't mean anything.
Can't buy me love.
Well, that's true. But I mean, the people who say that and sort of think it's the end-all argument, if that's true, why have they all got jobs, Why don't they just all become hobos, all those people?
It occurred to me that when you first realized you could go into a store and buy just about anything, what's the first thing you bought? Was there something you'd always wanted?
I don't think so. No, I think when you realise that, I can't even remember realising that.
It didn't just hit.
It hits. It still hits.
Yeah.
It still hits. I suddenly still think, I just because mainly I live, basically I live the same way as I did in myself. I mean, I buy more things, admittedly, but I feel about the same as I did then. So, every so often I'm just sort of sitting there and I think, I'd love a guitar now, or I'd love one of those big guitars, or a 12-string or something. So then they think, oh, great, I'll ring up someone and buy one, which is knockout. That's the greatest thing to be able to do, And if you see a great car, I mean, I've got the car I want now, but I mean, if I saw one I really wanted, it's marvellous to know that you could get it, And it doesn't stop knocking me out, That'll never stop knocking me out.
Another guy who's still knocked out by it all is the Beatle drummer, and he tells us who he is.
Well, the thing is, I'm two people, you see, because to my wife and family, I'm Richard Starkey, or Richie, and to the sort of pop public, I'm Ringo, so it depends who you want to meet.
Is it kind of a nice thing to be able to stop being one and be the other?
Well, the only stopping is, the only thing that changes is your name. I'm still the same person. I don't change any in personality, only in name.
The one that most people meet, Ringo Starr, is on stage physically apart from John, George, and Paul, high on a platform and seated at his drums. In each concert, Ringo does only one solo. Does this bother him?
I don't think I'd like to sing on every number, actually. I enjoy having one little spot, and having my own little go.
You wouldn't like to sing on all the other songs?
No.
How many times do you sing a song before you're sick of it? Now, Boys, you must have sung, oh gosh, I don't know. How many times did you sing Boys in the last...
Boys for 5 years, and I'm sick of it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Does it take there that long, though?
Well, no, I mean, it depends. Some nights say as Boys I sang for 5 years. Some nights, you can sing it and you enjoy it, and other nights you don't enjoy it. It's the way you feel. You don't feel the same every night.
There have been many explanations for the screams and hysteria created by a Beatle performance. I asked John Lennon for his.
I haven't got an explanation. It's the same kind of thing that causes hysteria in anything. And not all of it's hysteria anyway. It's the same as a football match. Those people saying about our daughters are out there screaming. They want to see themselves honking about watching baseball and that.
Tearing down the goalposts at a football game, right?
Yeah, they're just the same, people are like that. That's how people express themselves.
The hysteria was most obvious in San Francisco at the final concert of the 65 tour. After it, John told how he gets personally involved with an audience.
If you can see them, it does, if you've got any sort of feelings at all, you can't help being sort of moved by somebody crying. If you know definitely they're crying for you, but if somebody's sort of crying and shouting, you're not sure whether it's you, Paul, or whoever, you can't really get involved. But if you sort of catch somebody that's watching you, you do feel something. I saw one little girl that was just crying and shouting, and I felt sorry for her for a moment. Thought, she's only about 16 or something. She's getting crushed, but she was just standing there throwing handfuls of these little rocks at me. And I shouted to her, yeah, well, they feel like little rocks, and I shouted to her. She just took no notice, and she seemed to be waving at me. I was trying to say, look, I'm here, I'll smile at you, just don't hurt me, you're going to knock my eye out.
George Harrison, on the Beatles' first American visit, gained the reputation as the quiet Beatle. The one who wouldn't talk.
Well, actually, I did talk about the same amount on the last tour. It's just that, first of all, when we first come over here, they didn't know us all that well, and so they had to, they've always got to call you something. Just like when we first brought a record out, we said we were playing rock and roll, only, the only difference was that we wrote it. But they wouldn't have that, so they called it Mersey Beat and the Liverpool Sound, and all that came about because people like to hang tags on you. And it was the same when we came over here. Ringo was the cuddly one or something, Paul was the lovely one, and I was the quiet one, and John was the shouting one. They've always got to do that, but I've been the same all along. I talk when I feel like, and I shut up when I don't feel like talking.
You think the fact that you are now one of the 2 sole surviving bachelors in the group has increased your personal popularity?
I don't think so at all. I still think Paul and Ringo are the most popular, and I don't particularly mind either. I don't really want to be the most popular.
Why not?
Because then they throw all the stuff at me, and, they expect more of you, don't they? You've got more people who are expecting you to twitch your leg and sing to them. I like being me. It's more fun.
How interested are you in the other angles of Beatlemania, of the business end of things?
I'm not really interested, we're not really concerned with being wealthy or millionaires or anything. The whole crux of the thing is that we want security, which everybody wants. I don't think people really want to be millionaires, unless people who seek it for a status symbol. I don't care if I'm a millionaire, half a millionaire, a quarter of a millionaire, or a multi-millionaire, as long as I'm going to be all right and be secure. That's the main thing.
So you don't really keep track of record sales or box office?
No, we get all that sent to us, every 9 months or 6 months when EMI send us out a thing telling us you sold 3 records in Wooba Wooba land and all that, and you've made 3 and 9 in Afghanistan. You get all that, all the details, but it's not very interesting.